So this is a continuation of double integrals over general regions. So in the second question, they're asking us to evaluate the surface xy. Okay, it's always z equals, where D is the region bounded by the line y equals x minus 1, and the parabola y squared equals 2x plus 6. All right, so when we go to graph this, if you look at the y squared equals 2x plus 6, okay, that's going to be easier for us to graph sideways by solving for x. So if I solve for x here, I get y squared minus 6 divided by 2, which is y squared over 2, or half y squared, minus 3. So the other function, y equals x minus 1, well, I might as well graph that just the regular way, okay, because we already know that this has a slope of 1, and it's starting at negative 1. However, I'm going to write these functions both in terms of x. So even though I'm going to graph this by starting at negative 1 and going up 1, right 1, because it's just your basic line with a y-intercept of negative 1, and a slope of 1. So I'm going to solve this for x, though. So this is going to be x equals y plus 1. All right, so this parabola, okay, x equals y squared minus 3. Okay, we can get the intersection, so we can get the values of y where they intersect by setting these equal. So this turns into a problem that involves quite a bit of algebra. Okay, but this is one of the reasons we learned algebra, so that we could do more interesting math. So now we multiply by 2, so we get y squared minus 6 equals 2y plus 2. Bring everything to the left. Factor. Set it equal to 0. Get your solutions. Okay, so these y values, okay, where these are going to intersect are going to be negative 2 and 4. Okay, so think about it. When y is negative 2, the x value, it's easiest to substitute into here. Always do what's easier. So you would get negative 2 plus 1, which is negative 1. So I go to negative 1, negative 2. That's negative 1, negative 2. For the other intersection, I have y is 4. When y is 4, x is 5. So this would be 4, 5. So it would be all the way up there. All right. So anyway, so you're going to have this sideways parabola. All right, this is 5, 4. There will always be critical people out there that will say, oh, she could have made that neater. Well, that's nice. But real mathematicians don't care about it being perfect. They care about the math. All right? So it's just like art. Sometimes the beauty in art are the imperfections, not the perfections. So when we go to integrate this, okay, this is going to be type 2. So since it's type 2, what are we going to show respect to first? That's right, x, because x is varying. Now, the upper bound is going to be the right curve. The lower bound will be the left curve. Okay, then we'll show respect to y, and where is y varying? So you need to have your upper bound is going to be the higher one, your lower bound is going to be the lower one. Okay, so now the fun begins, if that was not fun. So you have respecting dx, that means that x is the variable, y is the constant. So the y is a constant, and then you get x squared over 2. Your bounds of integration are in terms of x. So there's just going to be a little bit of algebra involved here. And then we'll be integrating in terms of y, because our function is going to end up being in terms of y. Okay, so I have substituted my upper bound. I have y over 2 times that upper bound squared. When I square y plus 1, I get y squared plus 2y plus 1. Okay, now when I substitute in my lower bound, I have 1/2 y squared minus 3 squared. Well, a half y squared times a half y squared is 1/4 y to the 4th. The inner and the outer terms are going to be -3/2 y squared and -3/2 y squared. Well, -1/2 plus -1/2 is just -3. And then when we multiply -3 by itself, we get 9. A little bit of a mess, but trust me, if you think this is a mess, count your blessings, because it can always be messier. All right, so I'm going to distribute the y over 2's, and then I'm going to combine my like terms. So I get y cubed over 2 plus 2y squared over 2. So those will cancel to 1. And then we have y over 2. Okay, minus. Now, everything's going to change sign here. So here, we're going to have 1/8, -1/8 times y to the 5th. Then it's going to be positive 3/2 y cubed. Then it's going to be -9y over 2. So you're going to want to combine like terms before you continue, because this is quite a mess, and I will put it in order as well. So I have -1/8 y to the 5th. Okay, I don't have a 4th power. So my third powers, I have this and this. I already have a common denominator of 2. 1 plus 3, that gives me 4. And then 4/2 is just 2. So that becomes 2y cubed. Okay, the y squared is by itself. Sometimes you may want to keep track of these just by putting dots next to them so you know what you use, or circling it. Okay, so now the linear terms. This is a negative. So I have -9, +1. That's -8 over 4. -8 over 4 is just -4. Okay, so now that you've cleaned this up, it's going to be easier to integrate. So I have y to the 6th over 6, but it's 6 times 8, so that's 48. Then I have y to the 4th over 4, but the 4 can cancel with that 2, so I really have y to the 4th over 2. Then I have y cubed over 3 minus 2y squared. Okay, so now I integrated. My bounds of integration are going to be 4 and -2. So now I'm going to substitute these in. Okay, upper bound first, lower bound second, and you can look for shortcuts. However, you can just leave it like a hot mess. If you want to clean it up a little bit, you can. So I have -4 to the 6th over 48 plus 4 to the 4th over 2 plus 4 to the 3rd over 3 minus 2 times 4 squared. Okay, all of this minus, didn't mean to do that. All right, so when I substitute in my lower bound, it's a -2. I only need to worry about it being negative for the cubic term because that's odd. The rest of them I can just sub in as if it's just a regular 2 because the power is even. So the sign doesn't matter. So this will be negative 2 to the third is the same as the opposite of 2 to the third. And then this will be minus 2 times 2 squared. Okay, now you could technically just leave the answer like that. One of the things I was saying to you is that we could take the bases of 4 and we could make them all 2 and then double those powers. So this would be negative 2 to the 12th. This would be 2 to the 8th. This would be 2 to the 6th. Okay, now technically here we could just, the 4 part could become 2 to the 4th, and then we have this other 2. So that's 2 to the 5th. Now I'm going to distribute this negative here. So this is going to become positive. Okay, this is going to become negative. This will become positive. And this will become positive. So I can make this 2 to the third. All right. So from there, it would just be, you know, your basic arithmetic. You get your common denominator of 48. I will stop and I will do it so that you can check your final answer. Okay, but you certainly don't need to hear me doing basic arithmetic. All right, let me pause this. So honestly, from here on out, you probably would just pick up a calculator. But it's worth, you know, noting that when you multiply by powers of 2, each power of 2 is just a double. So like, for instance, if you're doing 48 times 2 to the third, you would just double 48 3 times. Okay, but at any rate, I would just type that into the calculator and your final answer is 36. So what does this mean? This means that the volume, okay, of this surface bounded below by the region that we discussed, okay, that volume bounded between the surface and that region is 36. All right, on to the next video. Thank you.